Welcome to the Advanced Dual Health and Life Coach Certification. Today we're discussing specialized coaching topics in health and wellness, more specifically some advanced strategies for fitness coaching. Let's get started with some introduction. Advanced fitness coaching involves tailored techniques and an in-depth understanding of physiology, behaviors, and motivational styles to help your clients reach their peak potential. Rather than focusing solely on the physical aspect of the exercise, advanced strategies encompasses personal training, client engagement, and overcoming mental barriers for sustainable results. Let's look at some key pointers. Core principles of advanced fitness coaching. Number one is individualization through assessments. Comprehensive assessments provide insights into client needs, their fitness levels, and mobility issues. Example tests are functional movement screens, which is also FMS, and VO2 max tests. Example, your progress starts with understanding where you are today. Progressive overload adjustment is point number 2. This gradually increased intensity, volume, and frequency is known as progressive overload. This is used to stimulate growth without overtraining. Example, week 1 squats at 60% 1 RM, and we progress to week 6 at 70%. Every small increase in effort compounds into big results. Take a look at the domains of fitness, which is strength, speed, cardiovascular capacity, agility, coordination, flexibility, endurance, power, balance, and strength. Let's talk about point number 3, which is balancing your recovery with training intensity. Training is only effective when the recovery are keeping its pace. Interventions include structuring rest days, sleep tracking, and active recovery. For instance, a high-intensity interval training or HIIT plan complemented by restorative yoga reduces the inflammation. Example, our rest is as important as your reps. Growth happens in recovery. Fourth one is some good clarity and realignment. Aligning each session with long-term objectives is a goal. Example, regularly revisiting the goals to ensure focus and avoid plateaus. From fat loss to strength gains, how has your goal shifted is one of the questions you can ask your clients. Clarity in your why gives purpose to your what. Number 5 is utilizing some periodization techniques. Implementing structured phases, example a hypertrophy block or a strength block or a power block for a well-rounded development is important. For instance, a 6-week block with ascending weight percentage to peak the strength at the end of the block. Fitness is not linear, it's built in one phase at a time. Let's look at some advancing coaching techniques. Programming for plateaus. Rotate your training modules from traditional lifts to supersets or adding some resistant bands. Example, you can switch your bilateral squats to Bulgarian split squats, which enhances your unilateral strength. When progress stalls, adaptation calls for innovation. Then it's some motivational interviewing. This helps the client articulate and resolve any ambivalence about fitness goals. Example, what would success look like in 6 months and what's the first step to reach there? When you find your why, the how becomes a lot more clearer. Then it's functional mobility integration. Incorporating dynamic movements like Turkish get-ups or kettlebell flows to improve joint stability and coordination is another technique you can use. For instance, you can pair your deadlifts with hip opening mobility drills to avoid any stiffness. Number 4 is precision nutrition coaching. Education on macro and micronutrients for the clients is needed for optimizing performance. Example, you can adjust your carb intake pre and post exercise for endurance athletes. What fuels your results? Choose wisely. Data-driven progress tracking. You can use some wearable technology like any heart rate monitors, fitness trackers. These include watches and rings and some apps for client accountability. Example, you can track your sleep data to adjust training intensity based on recovery metrics. Example, what gets measured gets improved. You need to be recording every single milestone of your journey. Let's look at some practical strategies for client engagement. Number 1 is celebrating small wins. You can highlight any incremental achievements to maintain motivation. Example, applauding a client's first unassisted pull-ups transforms your confidence. Then it's creating any realistic timelines. Avoid rushing your results and emphasize more on gradual transformation, which is broken down. You can break a 20-pound weight loss goal into monthly increments of 5 pounds. Patience will build your progress because it's a foundation of a good change and lasting results. You can also gamify your workouts, so you can add competitive elements or challenges to make the sessions more enjoyable. A client competes with themselves to hit PRs or complete circuits faster. Example, you can turn your efforts into enjoyment. The best results come when you love the process. Here is a diagram of some top customer engagement strategies. Take a look at it. Number 4 is introducing some visualization techniques. Encourage the clients to envision success like completing a marathon or hitting a squat PR. Example, guided visualization of lifting heavier to reduce your performance anxiety. Number 5 is improvement in lifestyle alignment. At the end, you can integrate fitness with daily habits like better posture at work or some meal prepping. Example, you can suggest taking stretching breaks during desk hours to combat sedentary fatigue. Let's look at the summary tables. Table 1 is going to be discussing the core fitness coaching principles, where we speak about its prescription and the tools and technique, example application, and some insights. Individualization means tailoring your fitness programs based on the unique client needs and the goals, and some tools you can use are functional movement screens and VO2 max tests. Example, you can assess the mobility limitations before designing a strength program for your clients. And some insights are that personalizing your program avoids any plateauing and prevents injuries from improper training. Another example would be progressive overload, which is gradually increasing the intensity, frequency, or volume to stimulate consistent progress. You can increase the weights or make adjustment to your volume tracking. Example, increasing your squats from 60% to 70% 1 RM over the next 6 weeks. This ensures there is muscle adaptation without risking overtraining or performance setbacks. Take a moment to have a look at the rest of the slide. Table number 2 talks about advanced coaching techniques. We talk about the technique, the purpose, some tools and method, example applications, and some insights. Let's have a look at functional mobility training. This improves the joint stability and reduces the injury risk through dynamic movements. For instance, you can use kettlebell flows and body weight movements. You can pair deadlifts with hip mobility as an example to mitigate some stiffness associated with it. Some insight is that skillfully integrated mobility prevents any biomechanical imbalances, improving the performance reliability. Take a moment to have a look at the rest of the slide. Let's talk about periodized training example. If we, for instance, want to focus on strength, the time frame would be on the 5th to the 8th week. The maximum focus would be maximal strength gains, and the key techniques are using some heavier weights and lower volume. Examples are deadlift sessions progress to 5 times 5 sets at 80% 1 RM. This teaches neuromuscular efficiency and builds raw strength to move heavier loads with time. Take a moment to have a look at the rest of the phases. Let's have a look at now tools for tracking progress. There are multiple ways to track your progress, and we're going to discuss its application, benefits, example, and some advanced insights. Let's take a look at one of the examples, which are fitness and nutrition apps. These track your workouts, your meals, and your overall progress towards any specific goal. Its benefit is that it provides a clear trend lines and ability to see where you were before and where you are now. This example would be to log your sets, your weights, and servings for a transparent overview of habits. Some insight is that apps ensure that the adherence is quantifiable, eliminating any sort of guesswork. Take a moment to have a look at the rest of the slide. Table number 5 talks about client engagement strategies. Let's have a look at some strategies, the focus, some tools and methods, examples, and some insight. We can have a look at one of the examples, which is creating realistic timelines. This is used to foster patience and focus without any burnout. Some methods you can use are goal charts and phased plans. An example application is break down weight loss goals into achievable monthly targets. The insight is that they have clear timelines which prevents feeling of overwhelm and it encourages persistence. Take a moment to have a look at the rest of the slide. Let's have a look at some MCQs. Take a moment to have a look at question number 1 and 2. Take a moment to have a look at question number 3 and 4. Take a moment to have a look at question number 5. Thank you.